Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today na Friday, number 22 day for this month of November 2024. My name na Capo Daniel, una own countryman, sense past king, Lukong. Una welcome to another episode of our daily podcast. A program where they bring una the truth, where they bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we work out for this journey to our freedom, to the independence of Ambazonia. Our good people across the globe are bringing una liberation greetings. The title for today's podcast na Dokfawu Ibak. Dokfawu Ibak. You dey throw water for Dokfawu skin, e no go enter e body, no matter what the way you do am. Unless na that Dokfawu sesep e decide for shake a feather before water go fit enter for day. Throwing waters on a duck's back. The case of Ambazonia. Are we sure that we even hear when we listen, or we listen when we hear? A lot of things that happen, and Ambazonian then be on shake, living in a world of their own, while reality fastly catch on us. The table is being turned in front of us. We shidong like dog fowl, where they throw water for a back, it need to enter our skin. Recently, the European Union, it pledged 91 million pounds backed by the British government as well for support infrastructure them for inside French Cameroon, their territory. Ambazonians, they never think or consider the ramification of this type of grants where they come 8 years after Ambazonian would launch this war. Such grants had stopped. The German government in particular, which usually sponsor 70% of all big projects in Cameroon. Very soon when I will hear say they don't start. Are we thinking of the ramification of all of this? Do we listen? Do we hear? Do we understand? Or we are living in a world of our own? Even if we decide to behave like small pikin, we cover your eye, think say the war, it don't disappear around you. Eventually, you will open your eye. We manda, idan, mbole, a word to a wise is sufficient. We will continue to work tirelessly because we see the danger our people face after such huge sacrifices without action from our side. 2 days ago, AWUDU, our brother way for Switzerland, we then championed the cause for our people. I remember meeting him in Zaire when we went for the third conclave and how we fought together to make sure that the conclave took part. I saw him 2 days ago speaking in a side event in the United Nations. It was powerful and wonderful. And these are the type of people we want, people of action. We have to also know that speaking in United Nations side events, or even if we have access like the one which we have had invitation to participate at the end of this month, we must know that United Nations speeches are only speeches. There are huge ramifications of our voice being heard in that level. It is a big victory. It also must be accompanied with strong diplomatic effort to be able to translate those stage into proper and tangible diplomatic successes. We want to congratulate Mr. AWUDU, the selfless sacrifices he has put himself at the forefront, fighting for our people and making sure their plight is heard at the highest possible place. He is noted for challenging Paul Biya. He is one of those who got into a fight with the bodyguards of Paul Biya that resulted in an anger outburst, which was directed by the Cameroon presidential guard towards Switzerland officials, which ended them in jail. AWUDU Francis is indeed an Ambazonian hero whose actions we must recognize. And he is part of my generation. He's a childhood friend of mine. And these are the people we grew up with. This is a never again generation, a generation that will bite the bullet, a generation that knows we must, and it is our responsibility to be fit to the next generation, a better Ambazonians than we inherited. I will always say, now we be the generation who will be the share bonbon, Will be even the share chingom where you go broke am again for person. That is how we grew up with solidarity. We were the last generation where a child was indeed raised by the quarter. Where when you dash school for primary school, you dey see even any elderly person, you dey run the height because you be aware of the communal nature where we grow inside the Ubuntu of Africa. We are the last real generations, and we are obligated to carry this fight and provide that leadership. We are the generation of any small thing, PCAM. We will be the city do clean up campaign. We will be the worker picks dirty for road as communal service. We will be the learn civic duty, civics, where it be still come out for the area of the curriculum of the Southern Cameroon. We'll be in the last generation of our purity, and we must provide that leadership that our people want. We must provide that decency that our people deserve. Yesterday, we finally go through out the documents, court documents from Norway. They are all in Norway, so we need translation and the help of technology to do that. So we are finally, for the first time, the court have released more and more details of the trial of Cho Ayaba, who is currently being held under strict condition in Norway for crimes for inciting crimes against humanity back home. According to the court document, the activities of Ayaba Cho is primarily against the civilians of our people. That means he just target the civilian. According to the analysis that they brought up there, as well as direct involvement in the cited cases, majority of what Ayaba Cho is saying or directing his anger is against our people for the most part. And one of the most outstanding issue with the case of Ayaba Cho is the statements that have been made so far by the Julius Nye and all the people of the Age of Sea. We now know with documents, not just based on the information that was provided to us by our network that are close to what was happening in Norway. Now we now have documentation that Ayaba Cho is not only detained incommunicado, his family do not have the right to see him. The visit he has is limited to his wife, and it is a controlled visit. His lawyers are not even allowed to talk to anybody. So we now know for sure that everything Julius Nye, Lucas Momo, and all the Age of Sea people have been saying about Ayaba Cho were all just lies. They have not heard from Ayaba Cho. They have certainly not heard from his family. His family is not talking to anybody, because if they transmit information from Ayaba Cho or concerning Ayaba Cho to the Age of Sea, his wife visit to Ayaba Cho will be further restricted or even terminated. These are documents that we have now. So everything Julius Nye have come to tell the Ambazonian people is a lie. People who have PhD, who have studied in school, they will come on TV and lie about Ayaba Cho. They don't have dignity. They don't have morality. They don't have decency. When our people were being killed, the people that have been cited that were killed in Bamenda, in Nacho Street, 10 people with the hope that they want to drive Francophones. Among those 10, only 2 were Francophones. Only 2. And they came and they lied. They killed people in Gozang, public execution, summary execution, and they testify about it. And today, they want people to sympathize with them. Liars, thieves, murderers, killers, they are criminals. We must know that. Like with the talk, today's topic, na water for Dokfawu Ibak. Nevertheless, that water, it must be thrown. In other issues, Akere Muna, where he run for presidency for Cameroon, he done throw a big write-up, say the appeal for Paul Biya, make it release prisoners of war, political prisoners under sympathy. That means Paul Biya sorry for them, just release them. The Cameroon government Inoba react to this statement. The Inoba dismiss them. Atanganji Paul Inoba come again pompously, can't talk. Even though we feel say such appeal are political in nature, Akeremuna the do political things and for win or for be a strong candidate for presidency for Cameroon. So we don't expect anything from ye other than that. That is also a good move. It shows that they put the heart of our people in their campaign, and that is what we should encourage. Nevertheless, we don't expect that our people will be released because of such appeals, even though they are very important in campaigning for the rights of our people and their plight. What is even more of our interest is the reaction of the Cameroon government. Atang and Jipo in particular have remained mute, and the Cameroon government have not reacted, which means that the system now understand that they have been undercut by their boss above, who have the will, who is demonstrating the will to negotiate. And they should open their eye and understand that they themselves can have a positive role to play moving forward. Enough of the killing, the hate speech, the lies, the manipulation that ends up hurting innocent people every single day. At the end of the day, those who commit crimes, those who misinform or misdirect anger that cause the loss of human life, innocent human life, there is also divine justice. But justice always finds a way to meet up with perpetrators of crimes. Fellow Ambazonians, yesterday I also participated in a panelist meeting with the Biafran movement. I was invited by one of their caucus. So we had a big meeting and my expertise was demanded in many topics, and it was very successful. The Biafran people are considering the arrest of Simon Ekpa in Finland for inciting violence with the purpose of terrorizing people. That is just short of accusing him of committing terrorism, but it's a very high crime that he has been arrested for. The details of the crimes are still sketchy because they have not submitted anything in court. So everything we have is speculation and based on what we know previously happened to him when he was arrested in 2023. The issue being discussed should raise awareness amongst us Ambazonians. The Biafran movement, just like Ambazonian movement, we have a duty to inform our people correctly what is happening. Ayabacho is not arrested because he was fighting for Ambazonia. Neither did Simon Ekpa arrested because he was fighting for the people of the Biafra movement. The cause of the Biafra movement, who are defined as a people and seen as such, is a legitimate plight of a people who are being marginalized and they have no way out of this situation they find themselves in. The case of us in Ambazonia, West Cameroon, is also the same. Our people must not see or think that the arrest of Ayabacho is an indictment for our struggle. Of course, it has a direct impact, especially his conviction. We have already been notified that the Canadian government this year, last month, have already put the ADF in a watch list. And we are sure that this is the same thing all over the world, and this is just following what the American government have done. So if you are an ADF member, because of the case of Ayabacho, the West, the partners of Norway, which is the West as a whole, would treat you as somebody linked to war crime or suspicious of linking to war crime. It is now official. So people should be aware of those things. Does this mean that everybody who is fighting for Ambazonia will be considered a criminal? No. We must make this distinction because people are now afraid. People are worried. And that is the main reason we have been saying. Imagine those who believe that Ayabacho was so important to the struggle that they convince themselves that without Ayabacho, the struggle will end. They should understand that it was their duty to protect Ayabacho by advising him not to commit war crimes. When you love somebody, you must tell the truth to that person. Those who love him and he was dismissive of everything they stood for. I remember before I resigned from the AWUDU, 99.9% of every AWUDU member believed in me, trusted me in the argument and disagreement I have with Ayabacho All of them were siding with me. They were wondering what was wrong with Ayabacho. Bet could not stand up for the right thing. They decided to choose Ayabacho and go out there to do propaganda and blackmail me. What has happened? Today Ayabacho is in prison. Their life have been exposed. Now Ayabacho is being investigated for the command structure for the international community to know who to arrest. So who have lost? We should always stand for principle. Don't follow a leader blindly. Don't follow this struggle blindly. The SG of Prap had given an example with the soldier that King David killed and married the wife. That soldier came from war. King David gave him a letter of his death to go and give it so that they'll put him in the war front to die. That particular man was a righteous man. He was an honorable man who was willing to die for his country and his king. And he died. But he was a fool. Had it been he opened that letter, had it been he questioned the king, he would be alive. And maybe God would have spared him. God could have made that man king. We should know that there are always possibilities because we have freedom. Freedom means you have the right to choose and you have variation, you have variety. We should not be foolish. If you are a soldier in ground zero, somebody asks you to go and lock down Ambazonia, ask him why. Why will I be punishing my people? They ask you to go and kill an innocent person, kidnap somebody for ransom, for no reason. You will ask why. Do not be a fool. If you love somebody, speak the truth to that person. From the beginning of this struggle, I have stood for principle and I'm proud of that record. Not once have I given in. Never. Not once. I will always stand for the truth and make sure it is on the record. And that is how it should be. When I see today, Russia, they attack Ukraine with ICBM, the big bomb and an intercontinental bomb. Before the one launched the attack, they inform American government, even though they be in conflict, they inform them, so we'll be about to do this type of thing. So that means miscalculation not come out because America, if you see that kind of big explosion come out, if you say they send a nuclear bomb, they also react because all countries then get ideology on philosophy on how to use their weapons. So even in the middle of this war, hated rival, they talk to each other. There are rules in war. We cannot just say anything anyhow. You can just go out and kill people. Every day our soldiers are threatening our people up and down. Who do you think you are? If you don't know your limit, nature will show you your limit eventually. And when we tell our people, you cannot warn, you cannot threaten the life of our people anyhow. They don't take it serious because you think you have your phone, you can say whatever thing, do anything you want, and you will go away with it. Even in your grave, there is still judgment. The righteous, even if they are crucified or they are hung, they die with their head raised up because they are justified before their God. And that is the ultimate judge we should be worried about. Our conduct, our individual morality. We must stand for what is good, what is just, even if it costs us. But what we must not do is to sell our soul for ego, for group, for ideology or whatsoever. Never forget. But as we said with the topic of today, we the throw water for dog fowl, back, but we go still the throw him. Capo Daniel looking out for you, signing off.